It's as though we're awakening, and we have to, or we're invited to move through a threshold between the old ways of thinking, being, doing, everything that's part of our political, social, economic lifestyle, and trust that if we move into a different way of imagining how to be part of continuing the nourishment and fostering the life of the planet, how we'll survive, how we'll go forth and survive and not be afraid. So in a way, we're stepping on over a threshold. We carry the memory of our ancestors, and yet it's not enough in its wisdom to take us where we have to go now. We're being asked to step up to a very, very different place of understanding so that we will evolve the insights and the instincts and the capacities and the skills and the knowledge to allow life to go forward in a very, very different way than the constraints of this small, insulated, industrial growth economy. So I would like to end with a favorite poem of mine by Adrienne Rich, where she speaks to this sense that we have to step over a threshold, we have to go in to a new dimension. Part of what frames our coming together is we are realizing that the Cenozoic age is coming to an end. Now, no humans ever lived at the end of a geological, biological age. We're only 2 to 6 million years old. Classical civilization is 3,000 years old. Agriculture is a little older than that. But the Cenozoic age was 65 million years, and it's being unraveled by the invention and introduction of synthetic, humanly designed chemicals that never existed before the industrial age. We've created 80,000 brand new synthetic chemicals, which we've drenched, which we've poured into the air and soil and water. Chemicals for which Earth has no immune system to deal with. And so how do we pull back from toxic chemicals that are designed to kill enemies, whether they're weeds or other cultures or nation states or insects? Why do we develop weapons against enemies when this is not what the community of Earth's life is about? So we have choices about whether we're going to continue on that same path of believing in our inventiveness and technologies, or whether we're going to pull ourselves back and align ourselves with the way the creativity of the universe has gone thus far, with the restraints and the maturity and the selflessness and the love of the future that will draw our sacrifices forward. But it will take courage, and we will need each other, and we will need the whole, all the spirit-filled essence of however we speak about the sacred. So here's the poem that Adrienne Rich. She says, either you will go through this door or you will not go through. If you go through, you run the risk, there is always the risk of remembering your name. Things look at you doubly, and you must look back and let them happen. If you do not go through, it is possible to live worthily, to maintain your attitudes, to hold your position, and to die bravely. But much may blind you. Much may evade you, and at what cost, who knows? The door itself makes no promises. It is only a door. It is the human spirit that has the faith and trust to cross over. And for all the ways you do that, I thank you and I honor you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam, for teaching us how to hold these seeds. It is such an honor to have you here. We actually do have one final thing happening. If folks want to stay seated, please. We're going to invite John Trudell up to the stage now. For those of you who are here for the opening plenary, John did an opening invocation, and he's going to offer some closing comments before we all go. Thank you.
I'll be quick because I see the clock is running out. So I'll be quick on this. But what I want to say is, I don't think that agriculture started this mess. I think it was industrialization. I think it's when they figured out how to make swords and things out of metals. But I don't think it was a domestication of crops or animals that started this whole mad spiral that we're in. Because we knew how to share. It was this other thing, this industrial thing. So I think when they put that out there, they're kind of inverting us. You know, it's kind of like original sin stuff. They're just kind of sending us off into something. Maybe that's my opinion. But I'm going to read a poem to it, because I think everything is about energy. You know, a seed, but it's all about energy. And the energy and coherency. Thinking is energy. And coherency, we apply to that thinking as we try to solve the problems that we're confronted with, is the kind of energy we will put into the solutions. But if we use that creative intelligence, and we're fear motivated, fear dominated, low self-esteem dominated, and all of these kind of distractions, this is the kind of energy we will put into our solutions. So I just put that out there to think about. Anyway, everything to me is about energy. This is called Wali-G's dream. And Wali-G was one of the people from the Lakota story, creation stories, but when they lived in the underworld, he was kind of doing okay, and then he kind of messed up and got sent out to the outer world, see, so, but then he gets that out there, and he was out there long enough that when the people got tricked into going into the outer world, he knew how to live there, so he came back around again and did a good thing. While wandering in and out of blurrings, it was from in a somewhere's distant distance. He heard the crazy old fool's voice calling him, quick pulling him out of a stalking silence. It was then when he absorbed into Wali-G's dream, beyond shadow stars, into an unshackling of time. Ancient chants were rechanting those memories into being of being and thoughts of feeling free. In the reality of we always will be hunter-gatherers. It's in how we hunt, what we hunt, when we hunt. How we gather, what we gather, when we gather. Why we hunt and ways we gather have changed. Now hunter-gatherers are the hunted and gathered. Hunted and gathered by a technological predator. Electrical in design, altering the circuits in the mind. All the ways many thoughts can turn and run away. Desperation in trying to run away from desperation. We all have our reasons for doing whatever we do. Sometimes we kind of understand those reasons. Other times there's no explaining what we're up to. Life too has reasons and lessons to experience. Lessons and reasons as ways of remembering spirit. Remembering that spirit is being, is energy we use. Human is a form that being communicates through. energy generated as thought actualized into power. Hunted and gathered by a technological predator, recircuiting the energy of thinking into distortions, wiring those distortions into patterns of believings, processing the energy into fuels for their feedings. Using civilizations as a tuning fork, stirring up chaoses, shape-shifting, fluctuating currents, static frequencies, programmed human behaviors, not remembering reason, environments that we can't recognize our sense abilities, turned hunter-gatherers into the hunted and the gathered. And I'll close with, this thing about who we are. We are the children of the earth, human beings, our bone, flesh and blood. Our DNA, we are literally made up of the metals and minerals and liquids of the earth. We are shapes of the earth. There should be no confusion about that. It shouldn't be a confusion. We are, I mean, if you understand the biology of the human body, we are shapes of the earth. And being, we have being. Our being comes from our relationship to the sun, sky, universe. We are human beings. And too many times we wander around and say, I'm only human, but that's incorrect. I'm a human being. I'm two things. And those two entities, the visible and the invisible. We are human beings. And how we use the being part, of a human says what kind of reality we can create and manifest through how we perceive reality and how we use our creative mind, our intelligence to create, to see, to be coherent. And that's all I've got to say. I'm going to close on that. You got to check out the Grange, California State Grange, because I think people, foreign people, as individuals, organizations, I think you have a lot in common, and I think there are more collective ways to get together to raise and create a voice, because I guarantee you, our voices need to be heard, because there is a predator out there. Whether we call it what you want, there's a predator out there that's eating up our way of life. That's the way it is.